As we begin the last segment of our course, Growing in Cultural Competence, we've already looked at the way that bias operates. We've taken a look at how cultural competence is a process of learning, growing, being formed in our understanding and behaviors. And so we're at a point where we can think about developing a plan that will allow us to be intentional about growing in our cultural understanding. Now, let's be honest here. We can't know everything about every culture. There are so many different cultures that exist. But we can begin to learn about one or two cultures, perhaps ones that we have a lot of interactions with in our ministry setting. And the key here is, as we learn how to understand and adapt to one or two specific cultures, we are also developing skills that will help us analyze and understand other cultures as we encounter them in the future. The more we learn how to be culturally competent, the easier it becomes for us. Now, we have to remember that we can't simply say that we're culturally sensitive. It isn't enough to have the desire to be open to all cultures. That's an important starting point. But we then have to find ways to learn and to grow in our understanding. And there are a variety of strategies that we can choose from. In the video that follows, Celeste Eubank will give us an overview of a number of things that we can do if we'd like to grow in cultural understanding. But the list is long, and the important thing is to choose ones that you will enjoy, to choose things that you will follow through on. In other words, if you're an extreme introvert, perhaps having one-on-one conversations or conversations in a group of people who are culturally different from you may not be the place you want to begin. You might want to choose to read a book and watch a movie. So again, choose ones that you'll enjoy and that you'll actually do. And remember, this is a process that won't happen overnight. It'll take some time and effort to really learn about another culture. But you can do it. Many people do it. It just means we have to be intentional and be realistic. Don't try and take on 18 cultures, 25 books, etc., in the next 2 weeks. It's going to take time. So be realistic in what you can actually do and follow through. It will make a big difference over time. As you make a plan, it can be a very simple kind of plan that says, over the next year, I want to learn about this culture, and I'm going to do these 3 things. Maybe there are activities or programs at your church or in your work setting. Maybe you know people that you can have personal interactions with and conversations. Maybe there are books, movies, theater, art that you can engage. Perhaps you can travel and spend time learning and observing. Sometimes we can also make site visits. Now, this is one I always put a little word of caution on, because we as church people tend to do this. I'm in a predominantly white congregation. I'm going to go and visit an African American church. One-time visit is probably not going to give you any depth of understanding. You're going to view it more as a performance. So begin to ask questions and then have other things you can do to follow up and to learn at a deeper level. There are so many learning opportunities, but choose from them, write them down, give yourself a time frame. Maybe have someone that is a friend or your spouse that you're going to do this with. After you view the video, you will find links that provide for a couple short additional resources that can help in this process of planning. One is an article, 60 Ways to Improve Cultural Awareness. And that one will take us through a variety of different cultures that we might want to engage. Another resource is 10 Ways to Learn About Other Cultures, and this is a resource from the General Commission on Religion and Race of the United Methodist Church. And so here are a couple things that you can scan and then write down and make a commitment to how you will grow in the next few months or year.